Hi everyone, welcome again to Cynthia's Culinary Corner. I want to tell everyone a big hello, especially happy Healthy Valley. And I want to thank you again for allowing me to come into your homes to share another meal, another segment dealing with Lent. And this is just something else that I want to share with you because it's a family recipe that's dear to me, to my heart. And I know that sometimes we can get kind of bored. I get bored eating the same things. And it's good to have some different ideas, different ways, and different tips to make something delicious but simple. And that's what I like. I like efficiency and simple and simplicity. So this recipe is very dear to me because I learned it from my grandmother. As I've shared before, everything I learned in the kitchen was from my grandmother. At a very young age, I started basically making eggs around 4 to 5 years old, and I didn't want to stop. So I followed her everywhere. Believe it or not, I even enjoy washing the dishes. She taught me how to do that. So that was a fun thing for me because we would do it together. So anything you do, whether it's simple, can be fun if you do it with love. So let's get started. I have a lot of little tips here that I like to share. I like to share what I know and my knowledge. So what I use, we're going to be doing a fish and we're going to be breading it. I really like flounder. I like to use cod. I like to use haddock because they have a lot of flavor. Right now we're going to be using a flounder, but this is what I'm going to use to bread my fish. Crackers, saltine crackers. What do? We just crush them up. I get a big plastic bag and I get a rolling pin and I just roll it out and then I mash it up a little bit depending how much you want it to be pulverized or not. I like it a little bit more grainy, so I don't do it too much. What I do is I do that ahead of time and I put it in a mason jar so it stays fresh. Now, you might want to ask me what kind of crackers. You can pick the crackers that you want, but I've tasted several. I like to taste test. In my personal opinion, I really like this brand, Gamesa, because they tend to bake the crackers a little more. They're a little bit more crunchier, and they use the sea salt. This is my favorite. I really, really like it, but it's up to you. So this is easy to do. And I have a very nice memory that just came to me. I was in the kitchen with my grandparents, and something I really enjoyed was my grandfather was at the table, the kitchen table, and my grandmother was in the kitchen, and he'd be rolling out those crackers in the plastic bag and filling up the mason jar. So this is something that I just love and brings a lot of wonderful memories. So thank you for letting me share that. I didn't plan that. But getting back to this, we have the crackers, and I like to use a little bit of flour, not too much. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Why? You don't have to. My grandparents didn't, but I learned it gives it a nice little adhesiveness. So the crackers are not so flaky when you put it in to do the pan frying. Okay? So we got a little flour, all-purpose flour. You can use a flour that you like. I really like King Arthur flour. It's a very good flour. It's all natural. They don't use preservatives that are harmful, and it's family owned. Canola oil I really like because it's not going to be a deep fry. It's not going to be a deep pan fry. It's going to be a light pan fry, not deep, okay? So we want the pan to be around medium heat. Very important. A lot of people use eggs and milk. Here's another tip. I use buttermilk. Buttermilk is really nice because it's a little tart. So it's going to have that little tangy flavor when we season the fish, okay? But something else, you have your low-fat buttermilk, and it'll say 1%, like 1% milk, which is fine. Or you have your regular buttermilk, which is like whole milk. I like this because this is really good for baking and cooking. I use both, whatever's available. But this is my first choice. This is my second. They're both good. They have different properties because the whole one is richer and it's going to have a little bit more fat, so it's going to add more flavor, and the crackers and the flour are going to just be more cohesive. Either one is fine. We're going to use the regular one today, okay? key. We're gonna start. What I like to do with my fish, I like to season the fish a little bit. You want the fish to have that flavor. You don't want it only to be in the breading. And this is just something that I was taught. You know, you really don't need tartar sauce on a fish. You can add a little bit of lemon, but if the fish is good, if it has flavor, the breading is light and delicate and has flavor, you don't really need to put anything on it unless you want to, which is fine. But a good fish, a good homemade fish at home, you can't beat that. So another tip I have, I really like to use orange pepper. This is very good. You can get this at the meat markets. I have not seen them at the grocery stores, but I might be wrong. So try to look for it. And if you have any questions, you can DM me and we'll get back to you on that. I'll let you know where you can get it. I like to use something called chupa hueso. This is really good. You can put it on any type of protein, any type of meat. I really like it on seafood because it has a lot of flavor. Those are the two ones I use. Lemon pepper is very good as well on seafood. For today, I'm going to use the chupa hueso and the orange pepper. So let's get started. We're going to start. Okay, I'm going to make my, my mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to season the fish with a little bit, let me make sure y'all can see me, with a little bit of the chupa hueso. You just put a little bit on the side. Make sure you pat it down and make sure the fish is dry because it tends to sweat. With the paper towel, you can pat it before you season it. And now we're going to put the orange pepper, just a little bit on both sides. And you can smell how wonderful they mix together. So we have that. And then we're going to put about half a cup of buttermilk in here. This is one fish, so I'm going to do half a cup. If you're going to do 2 or 3, you can do a cup to a cup and a half. So we have that. We're going to do 1 egg. We have our egg there, and then we're going to whisk it. You see how easy that is? Make sure you just get a nice little whisk. Now, you don't have to add any salt or pepper to this mix because you're already seasoning the fish. And I'm just a firm believer of flavor from the inside out. That'll just show something that just really tastes good. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to add the crackers to a bowl that you have. It's about a cup. My grandmother taught me to dip the fish and bread it twice. It just gives it a nice flavor and a nice body. And then you add a couple of tablespoons. So I would say a cup of the cracker mix, 2 tablespoons of flour. And then you mix it well, as you can see. You just mix it well with a spoon. So you have more crackers than flour. Okay, and now we're ready to go. I'm going to dip the fish in my buttermilk egg wash. And then in my cracker flour mix. And then with your hands, you can just kind of pat it dry. And this is fun because you're using your hands and you can do it with your family, your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. It's fun. It's therapeutic for the older kids too, like me. So that's one. You see how that looks? It's nice. It's just a little thin. But if you do a second dip, a second coat, and then you kind of let it drip out, and then you do it again. You do it again. So as I do this, we're going to get ready so I can show you how to do a light pan fry with canola oil. And then we'll get started and we'll just show you how to make this beautiful fish that's fast and easy to make. So you ready to join me over to the stove? Come on over. You see how simple that is? Look at that. A nice fresh meal at home. Something else I did not mention. You don't have to use flour if you don't want to. You can just use the crackers, or you can change the flour. You can do almond flour. I like to use regular flour just because it gives it a nice homey, thin, crunchy taste and texture, but you can use the one you want. I know with nutrition and with calories, we might be questioning that, but in all honesty, food made at home is a lot healthier than food bought outside of the home because of the oils and the food products that they use to process certain foods. It's nice to go out and buy food, but if you can make something at home, I can guarantee you it's a lot healthier. And we'll talk about that in another segment on why it's healthier to cook at home and to try to buy groceries when you can. So here it is, a nice fish. It's nice and crisp. It's not too thick. You can pair it with a fresh salad. You can add a little bit of rice, or you can do your vegetable of choice, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, mixed vegetables, broccoli. It's really up to you. You can't go wrong. And you know me, I like a nice wine. My favorite wine is rosé. Rosé is nice because it has those berry notes that I talked about in one of my other videos. Strawberries, citrus. It just has a lot of flavor. Melon sometimes. You can pick the drink you like. You can have it with soda, with water. It's really up to you. Tea. Here it is. So why don't you try it? Let me know through a message how it comes out. If you have any questions, I'm available. And we have to say, please, let's not forget, if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel under Cynthia's Culinary Corner and hit that bell. That way you'll be notified when my other videos come out. And I have to say thank you. And we have to end with a voila.